Good morning and welcome to Orton. So we're here for our first adventure of 2026. Me and the boys are going to a walk to find the Thunderstone. And the Thunderstone is good folklore. It's a rock that appeared due to a lightning strike. And this one should be pink granite, and it's been built into a stone wall, which should make it hopefully easy to find. And then after we've been to the Thunderstone, we're going to walk down and find Orton Stone Circle, have a little mooch around there, and then come back. And if I spin round, you should be able to see that building behind me, and that is a chocolate factory. So we'll pop in there and we'll buy some chocolates. So let's get going. I'm going to cross, and we're going to go through that little gate there once Ash stops pulling. Oh, up you go, boys. Right. And this should take us onto the moors. There we are. It's a lovely day. It's slightly overcast, but it's not raining, although it has forecast rain later on this afternoon. And just look at these walls, aren't they absolutely amazing? Covered in lush moss. This is mid-January when we're doing this walk. I think that this path is rather stunning in summer when the leaves are all out. We'll come up to a gate. We'll do a quick check of the field to see if there's any sheeps. Not like it. So let's go over. What a cute little gate that is. Now, how does that work? Go that way. There you go. See. Always interesting to play with gates when you have three ducks with you. And we just follow this. The camera's struggling here to get this exposure correctly. There we go, we've left the little village. Over there in the distance is the Central Fells, the Lake District. That is Orton behind us. So where we are is the boundary between the Lake District National Park and the Yorkshire North and the Yorkshire Moors National Park. Right, let us go. I'm keeping the boys in the lead at the moment, because we have another dog in front of us, and Blackthorn wants to go and say hello. So he will just dash off and say hello. We'll let him off lead. Well, it will be okay, but it's best to keep him on. Hello, Ashy. You having fun? I thought that shake off was a yes. Now, if you've seen any of the other videos that I recorded September last year, how much Blackthorn's grown. So Blackthorn is about 9 months old now. He's a rough collie, and to the left of him, with a short coat, that is Ash. He's a smooth collie. Same breed, it's just that he's got the short coat gene, and that little cutie there, that's Willow, and he's a Sheltie. So they're all herding dogs, which means I tend to have to be careful around sheep because the instincts kick in and they want to go and play with the sheep. And sometimes none of them are trained to do herding, and also you should keep dogs away from livestock. And towards the edge of the field, getting very close to the moors now. And we have this little sweet gate in front of us, the finger post, and a little sort of walkway. We're going to have to check the map in a moment to find out which way we're going. So these little gates are quite common in Yorkshire, but we're not actually quite in Yorkshire, where it's a gate across the stile. So I'm just going to open that. It could be quite interesting to get over there. Right, I might have to put the camera down. So let's see where we go. Well, this here is marked as a road. Not much space for us to disappear should we meet a car. More likely a tractor, which I hope we don't, because Ash hates tractors. So I'm trying some new kit out this year. So last year I filmed using a Insta 3S, lovely little bit of camera. I still have that, of course, and I'll do some work with it later on this year. It's quite nice because you can attach it to one of the doggies, so you get a doggy air view of the walk. This has been recorded on an Insta Ace Pro 2, and I'm also using an external microphone this year as well. These are those DJI microphones. Hopefully the sound quality will be better, because last year we did get a lot of wind noise when I was recording, so it wasn't very clear, so hopefully this will clear that up. You see, this is not the most attractive path in the world, which is why I thought I'd explain those sort of things. Some lovely trees coming up. Some amazing views around here. We're on the edge of two national parks. It's an area which is not very visited, so it's always very nice and quiet. See what's going on behind? There we go, we've got the boring road. Oh, we're still on that road. It's quite a trudge. It's easy going and it's not soggy, which is good. Look at the side of the road, it's quite wet. No, not certainly in Lancashire we haven't had that much rain. My sat-nav just told me we've crossed into the Yorkshire Dales National Park. So I'm a Lancastrian foreigner in God's own country. And it's a matter of finding a wall and following the wall. I do look like over here. I'm going to have a look at this. This is part of the coast to coast, as you can see from this sign here. Bridleway. Never like bridleways because Ash is rather reactive towards bikes because they're always a bit of a scare. And that heads over to some bidding tarn. It's probably one of the stopover points in the coast to coast walk. So I suppose in some of this area will have quite a few walkers knocking about. Go around here. See, it's actually clearing up quite nicely. When I first got up this morning to walk the boys for their first walk, it's a bit misty and rainy, but it's looking rather beautiful. Look at that cloud there with the sun just peeking out. How amazing is that? Nope, we head up this way. See if we can do this one-handed. There we go. Come on. There we go. Nice plunk. Now you wouldn't think this is mid-January. It feels very much like early spring, which is a good few weeks away yet. How does this work? I've got a little... Oops, I should look where I'm walking there. Let's walk through the puddle. And go around this way. Oops. Ash, this way, buddy. No, Ash, this way. Yeah, good boy. Little sectioned off area. I think this is mainly for the walkers' benefit, because if I'm a sheep or a doggy, I can get under that fence easy enough. Rather interesting there, just before we got onto the moors, came across a gentleman who picked up their furry friend. And I was thinking it was a dog. But as we got closer, it was a massive cat. On a lead, being taken a walk. It's Ashy, this way, buddy. Ash, you're not listening to me, are you? See, Ash is finding that twig much more interesting. Right, come on, boys, let's go. Ash, come on, buddy. That's it. Come on, Willow. There we go. It is nice doing walks where it's quite clear for you to walk on. When we were down in Worcestershire and Herefordshire sort of way, the paths weren't that well used, so you couldn't see really where you're going. And it's also cattle country as well. It's always, I find quite difficult walking in fields of cattle, especially when you've got 3 dogs with you as well. Because they're very much, well, they say they're curious, but they don't seem to understand that they're huge, and they don't seem to know their stopping distances. So it's a bit of a worry. This place for a picnic. I'll sit there if it's a bit drier. Get your butties out. Time for the boys to have a drink. And I'll keep saying this. This should be up to the moors. That's the fields. What have we got here? That's I say. The bridle way. And a few tracks. A bit soggy. I think we'll go to the side here. Actually, keep to the side, bud. That's it. And then let's head up this way. Surely this must be the last field before we get onto the moors. I can see in the distance a little gate. I'll point it out to you. It's always interesting this because I've got 3 sets of leads. So go down, finger of God. Just by that tree should be the gate, and then we're out onto the moors. Here we are. Final gate onto the moors, and this time I think I'm right. There we go. Look at that. A big proper gate. Oops. Slippy slidey. Pull Willows through. Put the latch back on. Close that. Check the map. I thought we were going up and following the hill. No, footpath sign's right. We follow the hill. I'm going to move away from the edge. One, because Ashley's sniffing like mad, so I won't make any progress. And 2, it's in the shadow. Let's have a quick shufty round. Lots of ladies in the field. Can't be long before they give birth. Oh, well, they've got some freedom. I've attached Willow's lead to Blackthorn's lead, so he's got a little bit more freedom. And actually he's already on quite a long lead, so he's free to wander anyway. Let's carry on. Are you coming, Ash? This is where we start the ascent to find the Thunderstone. As I said on the Thunderstone in folklore, It's a stone that appears when lightning hits the ground, and they're supposed to have magical properties such as healing and protection. You'll often find as well that thunderstones are sometimes in the shape of axes, and they're small and carry magical powers. Now, this case here is we've gone through this gate here. Blackthorn, come on, buddy. The path actually goes directly on, but in the distance, you probably can't see it. Finger of God. There is the gate there. Go through that gate and follow that wall. That's what I think it's called. But we'll find out when we get there. Anyway, let's have a quick look round to see what we can see now. We've gained some elevation. Beautiful hills, magnificent moody clouds. In the distance, the rolling fells of Lakeland, and then we're looking back towards down there on this absolutely marvellous day. Well, I can't see any sheep. Tony's pulling like mad because he wants to run and play, wants to do zoomies, so let's take him off and see what he does. I'm pretty certain he'll come back. And off he goes on a bit of a zoomie fest. Is that fun? Hello, Willow. Well, you can go and do that. You're not on lead. Oh, you've got yourself tangled up with Ash there. Is that good? Come on, Thorny. What's up, Willow? Good boy. Is that great? You had great fun there with Tony. Hello, Ash. Well, we're all on lead now. And we're heading towards the gate. And hopefully, if I've looked at my route and read it properly this time, this should be the wall to follow to get to the Thunderstone. Now I can see it, but I don't think you can. There is a fence which might block the way. Right, let's get through the gate. Not too far. Anyway, so let's wander up and have a look and see what we can see. Okay, we can't get through there. We want to be on the other side of there, but over in the distance, far, far away, finger of God time, just there is a finger post. So, let's find out how we can get towards that finger post. See you soon. And Lady Luck is on our side because we've come up to a gate which is open. So we can get through and walk back and follow that wall. See what we get. There's actually a sign. Ah, yes. It's a footpath sign. Where are we? Yeah, it's just saying it's a public right of way heading towards our right, but we're going to head towards the left, which is off-piste, and pick the wall up again and see if we can find this elusive Thunderstone. Something you must never forget to do is look back. It's looking very dark on my screen because there's quite a lot of contrast between the hills and the dales. What's up, little Willow, squeaking away? How gorgeous is that? Magic of the sky. Anyway, let's carry on. Heading up here to find the wall. Bit of a fib there. I thought what we'd do is watch Blackthorn have a bit of a gamble. Is it a gamble? That's what sheep do anyway, running around. And with him being so young, it's good to see him off lead and running around, burning off some of his energy. See, we found the wall, so I'm just going to walk up next to the wall. It's sad in a way because I can't let Ash off because his recall's absolutely useless at the moment, so we're working on that. But he would love to run and play with Blackthorn. Meanwhile, we have little Willow, who's behind me. He doesn't like the idea of running for some reason. I think it's probably because he got hurt when he was younger, when I had oyster. Ash and which were quite boisterous and they didn't look where they were and they ran into it. Anyway, let's follow this wall. See you soon. So this could be quite interesting. Selfie stick on the ground. I'm trying to record this in the wind with 3 dogs. What can possibly go wrong? And yet, everybody. So yes, last time I came here, I had a smooth collie called Harvey. And we were trying to find the Thunderstone. We're wandering up down these moors. I hadn't actually realised it was built into a wall at the time when I was looking at it. And that's when we saw a massive black dog in the distance. So you can see where I'm stood at the moment, there's a wall behind me. The black dog was over there. We found it up. Didn't quite get to us, came down the dip and disappeared. Rather spooky. It definitely spooked Harvey. He didn't like it at all. He came very, very close. So, there we are, a spooky encounter with a black dog. Now, it's rather strange, you have black dogs all over the country. They're usually called black truck. But this part of the world, I don't think we're known for them. So, anyway. My little encounter with black truck, if that is a thing around here, and the wonderful Thunderstone, which is made out of, I believe, sharp pink granite. And, you know, save yourself a load of effort by building your wall over it. That's where we are at this moment in time, Thunderstone in Orton, and I'm going to head back now, similar way that we just came up, and we're going to head towards Orton Stone Circle. This part of the world, around Chap, absolutely littered with Neolithic structures, such as stone circles, standing stones, especially around Shaphadri as well. And you know, Shaphadri itself has been here for, I think it was 13 something or other when it was originally built. May have had a other religious building on there before they built the abbey. Around here seems to be very important spiritually for a lot of people in the past and the present now. Right, so we'll head off and see if we can find the stone circle. It should be easy to find, it's huge! And we've been there loads of times. So, see you soon. It's looking very moody over there. Where over there is. We're heading south, so it must be towards Kendal Way, I would think, looking at that. Which brings to mind someone's just like sort of, I've had a couple of people inspire me to make these sort of videos, and nowhere near as good as they are. Yeah, so it's looking exceptionally moody out towards the South Lakes, Kendal sort of way. Now there's a couple of people who've inspired me to try and make some of these videos. Nowhere near as posh as they are, but then again, this is only my 4th video, so hopefully I'll get better at it, and hopefully you guys will, if anyone's actually watching this, will get more out of it. So those are Ellie and Otto. He does lots of multi-day hikes, long distance type stuff. She travels all the way from Germany to come walking in England and Scotland and Wales. She does some amazing trips with her little dogs. Well, her little dog called Otto. And then there's Black Crag, a guy called Glenn. And again, he tends to do single day hikes, but incredibly long, like 15 miles or so, which I can't do at the moment because, well, my fitness level isn't there. But also, this little chap Blackthorn, but he's only 10 months old, so we can't do that sort of distance yet because his bones aren't quite settled. But at some point we'll do. Hopefully at some point in this year as well, we're actually going to do like a multi-day hike, a bit of wild camping somewhere to see if they like it. We've got in March, going to Dent, and we're going to stay in a campsite, and that's just to check to see how they are in a tent. We've done it last year. Don't know if I posted a video about that, but it was a very more of a glamping experience because I was in the car, so I could take up the bell tent, which is very comfortable, and it's got heating and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit poncy really. But what we're doing in March is more of a wild camp on a campsite with a very lightweight tent. It's a Fat Angus 3, something like that. I can't remember the actual model number of it, but it's very lightweight, ideal for backpacking, that sort of stuff. So that's some things I want to do this year. When you're on these walks, you must always take the time to look at where you are and enjoy the scenery, because it can be very easy just to put one foot in front of the other and just to plod along. You know, this is all about taking your time, going a little bit slow, enjoying what nature has to offer, and listen to little Willow moaning for some reason. Heading towards the Stone Circle now, and we have an amazing clear path. This is actually a bridleway, so let's see. Finger of God. There we go. Path rolls around there, up around the distance there, and it drops down into the valley. We should pick up the coast to coast path again, and then onto the Stone Circle, which is quite a big stone circle, slightly damaged, so someone's built a wall either slightly on the boundary or through the southern edge of it. I can't remember. It's been a while since we went. Actually, last time we went with Ash and Willow. That's before I had little Blackthorn, and we were staying in the area. May bank holiday last year it was, and then we did a couple of walks around here, then we went over to Tynemouth and picked up little Blackthorn. This has been an amazing walk. Nice gentle start to the year. No massive ups, undulations, nice weather, bit of a nip in the air, cold. What a great start to the hiking season. Well, we're about halfway to the Stone Circle now. The weather's changed slightly. It's not horrible, but it's going darker and moodier. The cloud base is definitely thickening up. I'm just going to spin you around so you can have a look at what's happening over in the lakes. You see in the distance there on the left, a little bit of brightness, and then we've got quite a lot of low cloud on the tops. Aren't quite in the cloud, they're starting to get collected. And we're around about midday. And days are short at this time of year, so we're probably about 4 hours to sunset, something like that. Maybe slightly longer actually, maybe 4.5 hours. Anyway, let's push on. We've got to see this Stone Circle. Well, we've arrived at the Stone Circle. Let's see. Let's put that up there. Right, we're going to see it now. We're going to go in and have a look. And what's how things have changed really. I wouldn't say how amazing, but it probably isn't really that amazing. It's that many years ago when we first started visiting stone circles and Neolithic sites, you couldn't get in here. It's on private land, which it still is, and you had to climb over a wall and climb over gates. But since then, a bit like with Longleg, it now has its own car park, which is further down the track that we just walked along, and it has an access gate. So these megalithic sites are becoming much more popular with people. Guys, come on in. No. So it has its own field now. This used to be a sheep field. It probably still is a sheep field. And anyway, so I'm just going to release the boys. I think even Ash can come off in here because it's fully fenced now. So he can have a bit of a run. We'll catch up a little bit in a moment and we'll walk around the perimeter of the circle. Hello Thorny, is that good? Hello Willow. Hello Washy. So Ash has got some freedom, which is lovely, isn't it? I thought you'd be running off and having a bit of fun. There you go, let's see what happens. Anyway, so where have we entered from? We have entered from the west. I'm just going to walk round. I don't know if the circle is actually aligned to anything. I'll have a look when we get back, and if it is, I'll do a bit of voiceover or put something in the comments or description below. So we have lots of stones. We could count them, but I'm not going to. Although I don't know the folklore around here, but a lot of stone circles have the folklore that you can never count the stones. And so I'm going to go with that you can never count the stones. But we'll have a look. Now I thought, we'll have a look at it when we come round, because we're almost round there now, that this stone circle had been damaged with the wall being built through it, but looking at it, it hasn't. The wall's just very close to the boundary of the circle. So as we go around here, it's quite a large circle. It's not one of these largest in the United Kingdom. Avery's the largest one, and then there's another one down south somewhere. I can't remember what it was called. The number 3 is Longleg. Well, anyway, this section here that we're walking now is very close to the wall, and in my mind I thought the wall actually was built over the top of it, but obviously I was wrong, which is lovely because it's not actually been damaged that way. The dogs are all having a bit of a smooch. We'll have a look at what they're doing in a moment. That's Blackthorn running off in front of us. And then when we come round here, we get back to where we entered in the west. So there we go. It's a stone circle. We have little Willow there doing some parkour on one of the Orton Stones. Is that fun, Willow? You coming, Ashy? Ashy's in the distance, and here he comes. Here comes little Ash. Look at that. Lovely to see a galloping smoothie. Do you want a treat? Anybody want a treat? There we go. One for you, and we can't forget you, can we, Blackthorn? Eh? Blackthorn. One for you. There we go. Yeah, so this is our second. Well, this is definitely Neolithic. The Thunderstone wasn't. That was just natural. It's a natural drop stone from glaciers. And there we go. And look, we have the boys running. Isn't that glorious? It's lovely to see Blackthorn and Ash having a good run. And we're going to get dizzy trying to track them. They're all having a wonderful time. Well, that was Orton Circle. And a bit of adventures with the pooches. It's great to see them running free. And now we're going to pick up the coast to coast and head back into Orton Village and to the chocolate factory. They used to have a cafe at the chocolate factory. I don't think they do anymore, which is sad. Closed down during COVID and didn't reopen. But I think they do take away hot drinks, so we might have one of those and pick up some chocolates. And then maybe nip to Shap Abbey. So I'll wander up here, and there's a finger post, finger of good time, just there, and that is the coast to coast path. So I'll pick that up, and yeah, we'll see how we get on. Always tempting when there's two signposts next to each other. I have to have a quick check and find out which one we're going, but I know it's the coast to coast, so and these are the coast to coast path signs, so I'm going to pick that up. Sometimes it's worth to have a look at here. Again, when you're hiking with dogs, it's slightly different because stiles and gates can become a bit more of a challenge. And if you have a look at this one, hopefully we're going to use the gate. That there, got the bars going across. I assume that's to make sure the sheep don't escape. Makes it very difficult when you've got 3 dogs. So we're going to go through the gate, which is easier for us. And yeah, it's sort of little nuances like that. A bit like the gates that we saw at the start of the walk, where you have a gate across a opening in the fence. They can be awkward as well when you have dogs. Another amazing view. You can see how dramatic the sky is around here. I'm just going to scan that way a little bit. Some really dark moody clouds to the south, and then we move towards the west. We've got fingers of God or crepuscular rays over the hills and fells of Lakeland. One thing about these super wide angles is they do make the place look really, really, well, small, which is unfortunate, but also give huge skies, a bit like you see in Arizona. Not that I've ever been to Arizona, but I've seen videos and films of it, and they always go on about how amazingly huge the skies are. Even the orb did, as in the group, the orb. So the little fluffy clouds. Hello, horse. How are you? To be a star of YouTube. Yeah, very settled little dobbin. We'll leave you in peace then. Bye bye, horsey. And we're back on the path we started on. It's a bit of a panhandle walk, a very short panhandle. We have Orton in front of us, the White Tower of the church, or one of the churches. Orton's got a couple of churches, and I believe the White Tower, there's a story behind that, and I'll look that up, and you can possibly put a link to it in the comments below, or the description, where you can follow if you're interested. I think there's something to do with whoever is the priest or the vicar of that church has to make sure that tower is painted white. I can't remember exactly why, but there's some reason why that church has a white tower. This is the school playing ground that we're walking past. And this is the path into the village. And something I want to show you when we get there is the little village library, which is so sweet. Hopefully we'll have enough power left in the camera to have a look at it, because we're running a little bit low on the battery on the camera. There we go, yards, well, meters away from the end of this little walk. I hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly did. I always look a bit scared, look a bit fast there. I don't know if I actually managed to record any of it, but we got stuck on the road with all those stupid gated stiles. Very narrow road, nowhere to go. Big car coming towards us, dogs on lead and unable to get over because of the stupid gate. There we are. That's the joys of hiking. Lots of problems that you have to solve. Hopefully I'll see you at A little likely. I can't believe you get caught on a gate post. Right, come on, let's go. Now then. Here we go. This is a dinky footbridge. That beige building, which looks like a bush shelter. It holds a surprise. Go around and have a look. Now you'd think, just looking at it, it's a bit of an information post about Orton. Give offers. Look at that. It's a library. Just walk in here. Ash doesn't want to come in for some reason. There you go. Lots of little books. What else have we got here? We have charity box. All the bits and pieces. How amazing is that? What a great use of a little bush shelter. Right, now off to the amazing chocolate factory.